Hi, and welcome back to our channel once again. We're here, it's George and Rose once again, and we have a new topic today. Before we get into that, please click like, hit subscribe, drop a comment, and click the notification bell. Share it with a friend as well. Right, so what is the topic for today, Rose?
Well, our topic is about red flags of a foreigner because last time our topic was red flags about Filipina, right?
That's right.
We will tackle something about foreigner also, but maybe we can add like a bonus at the end.
Okay. We had this as feedback. One of our commenters mentioned, why don't we do it for red flags for a foreigner? I think it's a really good point. We focused on the Filipina because, let's be honest, we know that is the type of video that's very popular on YouTube. But to keep things equal, let's look at foreigners as well because there's lots of red flags about foreigners. So, Rose, take it away. What's the first point?
Okay. For me, this is only an opinion, but this is also what I heard from others based of their experience. And I heard a lot of this that foreigners do this, and that is a red flag, like false travel promises. Like keep on promising, but they can't do it or they can keep their promise.
Yeah, this is difficult because as a foreigner, quite often you want to that the mind is willing, but life circumstances mean it's not quite so possible. So it's very easy to start guaranteeing and promising you're going to travel before you actually do. Like you think, oh, that's the best way to do things, but it's not. It's better to be honest and maybe even downplay when you can travel until you're 100% sure it's all booked, you have time off work, because um that's only fair on the person waiting to see you. So is this point a red flag because as a Filipina, that's a good way to differentiate between those who are really interested and those who might be in two minds and unsure?
It become red flags because they invest a lot of emotions here and time.
Mm.
So, for example, they've been in a relationship for 1 year and they promise they will travel after a year or maybe after 2 years and then they didn't make it. And we don't know the situation of other people, maybe lack of finances or problems, personal problems, but you just don't need to promise if you cannot make it, if you cannot do it. So that's only a red flag because there are guys, they keep on promising and then you don't realize that, there are girls that will expect a lot to guys and especially when they promise. So that is emotional damage. No, wait. It can be hurtful for us that you just keep on promising and then you cannot do it. For example, you say, "Oh, I will go there. I will travel within this year," and then it's already 2 years. You didn't make it, and then you will promise again that, "Oh, next year I will do it. I promise." And then it didn't happen again. So it means maybe there's a problem or maybe there is something that
Yeah, we're,
you
we're yeah, we're not trying to downplay how difficult traveling is, whether it's time off work, whether it's financial, whether it's logistics, it's really difficult. But the Filipino will have to have some sort of cut-off in time by which point you need to have done the traveling, and that's just fair. We need to also consider that we don't have the statistics, but the majority of relationships that start online, especially dating, vast majority never end up in people meeting. So when you're aware of those statistics, as the person from the Philippines, like you have to have some sort of, it's almost like an escalation of your relationship to a point at which the travel becomes the next thing, and then you have a window of time in which you think it's acceptable to arrange that. And once that window starts passing, you can ask some questions, you can give it final chances, but there is a cutoff point.
Yes, there's a deadline that both of you gonna communicate how long you gonna meet up, because it's very important in a long distance to meet up. How the relationship will work if you will never meet, and then you keep
Yeah,
on promising.
but remember, this is
There's
in general. It's not just long distance. So you could be living in Manila and your girlfriend could be in Davao, and you could be making false promises that you're going to travel to Davao, and just, yeah, if you're not doing it, then that can also be an issue.
yeah.
Yeah. So
That there, if there is a will, there's a way, right?
generally, yeah, generally, yeah. I think we should move on to our second point. That was a really good starter. So what have you got as the second point?
This one is no accountability or bad actions, like, or go wild. For example, yeah, it's like when you come here in Philippines, there are a lot of vices. Foreigners had a lot of vices. They become wild because they become addicted of something like alcohol, cigarettes, or something like gambling, and different kinds of addiction. And also no accountability, like you don't know how to compromise, especially in different culture. You need to consider, you need have a consideration in compromising some things.
I think the key word is accountability, and most people, we don't like that word, but we don't realize how important it is. And that is a big reason why people might change and, like you say, go wild when they're in a new country. We forget it's not just elders, like our parents, it's our whole social network of friends and family and colleagues and just acquaintances, anyone we know. People keep you accountable. They stop you from, we all have maybe a day where we're feeling a little bit different, and just knowing the presence of those people in your community can stop you. You can say, well, my action maybe didn't hurt anyone that I was planning, but I'm not going to do it in front of those people. We always talk about, for example, like social media, like social proof and all the negatives. And there are a big load of negatives about comparison and competition between people. I agree. But this is one benefit of being accountable to certain things in a society without really knowing it. And that all gets removed in most cases when you, as a foreigner, travel to a new country like the Philippines. And no one really stops and thinks about that as they get off the plane. No one says, oh, all my accountabilities have gone, therefore X, Y, and Z. No, it's almost sort of involuntary, like you don't realize it, but your body's starting to act that way. And it's a real way to see what kind of person you really are. And that's why a lot of foreigners will continue acting as they normally do and wish to, but a lot of foreigners will will feel that lack of accountability. They feel it get removed, and whether they've got a bad side to them or not, or whether they just enjoy the thrill of not having that accountability, it can make them go wild. And yeah, it's a red flag for someone who wants to get in a relationship if you see that type of person in a foreigner.
Yes, that's true. Sometimes if you're if no accountability, you can be insensitive or lack of empathy.
Yeah, yeah, it draws out the immature side of you can rise to the simmering point, and some people decide to act on it and some people don't. And if you're there acting on it, you can start waving red flags at any potential person you're looking to date. Okay, so I think it's time for the third red flag in a foreigner. Take it away.
Okay, the third one is think they are God in the Philippines. Yeah, actually, some foreigners do that when they come here. There are good foreigners that very disciplined. There are also immature, like, you know, when they come here, they think they can get all the girls they want.
I think this
They,
links on, doesn't it? This links on to point number two. Um, Slightly different, but it's the same theme. Yeah, and thinking they're God. Yeah, that's right. It's the idea that it probably is true in some cases, but the the advantages they do have goes to their head, and all of a sudden they think they're like above a lot of the locals or whatever. And I think it's how quickly you get the power, because I'm a big believer that whether you've chased power, status, finance, accomplishment in life, generally, the quicker you gain it, the quicker you lose or abuse it. The slower you gain it, the slower you would ever be. If you were going to lose it, you'd lose it a lot slower. Like it'd be more sustainable. And that's what life teaches us along the way. That's why a lot of us, whether we like it or not, we do long careers. And I think in theory, we all wake up one day when we're much more experienced and we suddenly realize, oh, I have made a bit of progress. Like it all adds up. Whereas as a foreigner, when you step off the plane, like, yeah, you will have advantages and desirable things that people haven't got in the Philippines. But the fact that it gets dumped on you in an instant, the minute your foot touches the ground at Manila Airport or wherever you land, that makes it dangerous. It's like when people win the lottery or something. It becomes a big responsibility, and people, yeah. And just because the locals are very friendly towards you and quite often too accommodating of your ego at times, doesn't mean they're not taking notes. Just because they're smiling at you or accepting it, they're a human being, and they're just, everyone's as wise as each other, so they will be taking notes of your strange behavior.
there are people also or foreigner that they think Filipino are easy to get.
Yeah, yeah. So um whether it's your physical appearance, your finances, your knowledge, your confidence, your pointy nose, whatever it is, um, it, there's a lot of cases where it will be desirable, but the power that people as foreigners think they have can go to their head, and they can overplay it. And if you're looking for the right person, type of Filipino you're looking for, I don't think is going to be impressed by that behavior. It's the idea that the I don't know if quote is correct, but it's quite often the dog with the biggest bark is the one that's most insecure. Same with people in a way.
Yes, that's right. You give a lot of good points.
Well, a lot of rambling points, but anyway, I think it's time for number 4 before I talk more nonsense.
Uh, no, it's not nonsense. It's true.
Okay, either way, let's hear the fourth red flag of a foreigner.
Hiding their phone or identity. Actually, it happens here sometimes, not only for foreigners or Filipino or different people do that. If
Mm,
they have a secret, of course, they're not open of like social media or maybe in their phone or in their identity if they're hiding something. So that is a red flag for us because how would we know, especially in a long
mm,
distance relationship, how would we know if you're true to us or you're a scammer?
mm. There will always be more naive Filipinas, but on the whole, Filipinos will know that many, obviously not all, but many foreigners who travel to Philippines are escaping something or some part of their previous life. That can be a very reasonable thing to do. Like a foreigner could be doing it for their own safety, their own well-being, but there's also some less good reasons why they're escaping. And if you are withholding, like you say, key points about your contact details, your identity, then it raises questions. What are they hiding? Why are they hiding it? Um, it can lead to maybe trust issues as well, because it may be a sign of what someone can do in the future, um, and that's not a good start for a relationship, no matter which one.
Yeah,
You
if
like to
there's a,
start?
because there are also Filipino or other people that had a lot of past experience that not good, failed relationship, and
Yeah.
sometimes they have a trust issue in the
Mm.
next relationship. So it happens to this kind of like hiding identity or something about
Oh,
phone. If you're hiding your phone for us, like we are in a relationship and you're hiding your phone, you're not open to us. Filipina are very, they think advance. So why you're hiding your phone? That's always in our mind.
yeah, like any person would do. And let's start linking these points together. Let's link part number 3, which was about acting like you're God and superior, to number 4, hiding identity, hiding phone. I think in some cases, a foreigner will think, because I have certain advantages and I can act like God or superior, I can justify hiding my identity. I can say, oh, I don't need to tell you this because look at me, I'm tall and I'm white and I can talk good words. Um, and just because those two things in your head sound good before you say it, oh, that works. I can get away with this. Don't think, as I've said before, someone you would want as your partner will also think, yeah, that's fair. That's the type of person I want to be with. Just because she looks back at you very sweetly, she's not going to accept that compromise.
Yeah.
Okay, should we go on to the final? Well, maybe it's the final, or maybe you have a bonus, but this is number 5 on our red flags.
Uh, the number 5. This is very red flag for us. I don't know, for me and for others. But to others, I don't know if it's red flag for them. It depends to the girl if they see this a red flag or not. But for me and for others, red flag is moving too quickly towards sex. Is it okay to say it?
Yeah. Yeah. I can imagine this happens a lot. And I'm going to go back to point 3 again. I think foreigners think they can justify this through who they think they are, their confidence, their experience. And I mean, in my opinion, the truth is a lot of the times they can get away with it and they'll get what they want if they want that quick thing. They might even get a relationship out of it. Will that be a relationship that's living to its full potential, mutually in love with each other? I'm not so sure. Just because the Filipinas accepted your quick advances, um, I wouldn't be too sure. And again, the type of person you want to have that long relationship with will either say no or will have been, yeah, very unhappy with how quickly you advance. What's your take, Rose?
Um, Actually, here in Philippines, mostly Filipina here are conservative. This is a conservative country, religious. So that's why I say this one that this is a red flag because especially in your first meeting, like first date, and then the guy wants to do something or ask something or something like that. I think I feel that oh that's not good if it's first meeting and just 1 hour after talking you just want to go somewhere in hotel like that to do something like that because you need to get to know the person first before you go in that kind of thing, especially Filipina that they have a strict parents or they are very conservative. For us, of course, we need to get to know the person first. And how would we know if that person is worth it or devalue us by waiting? For example, you ask a favor to do that and then the girl don't like to do that and then because you're manipulative you want to insist, you will say if you love me you need to do this, so that is very red flag for us.
Hmm. I don't think if you as a foreigner approach Filipina in this way, you're not really showing yourself to be any different to any other guy because yeah, I think that's just the fact of it. If you're an attractive young Filipina, you will not be short on options of guys who will like that proposition. So you're not standing out in any way if you're proposing such a thing to her. Whereas if you're more invested, you're actually interested in her enjoying these type of experiences, you're actually thinking about her emotions, her wants, then you are, believe it or not, just those simple things, you've already put yourself in front of the majority of men who show some interest in a certain girl. And that's, Filipinos won't maybe know it, but that is the type of thing that's going on in her head. That's how human biology works. We've learned to think that way as a protective mechanism.
Actually, it depends to a girl also if she allow it or not, you know. I know your culture is different to us
we yeah
that
we yeah we will get some comments, I think, that um this is totally fine and there's many cases of where a Filipina accepts it and likes it and so does a foreigner, and yeah, that's fair enough, that's fine. It's not really our place to give opinions on that. um all I will say is that if people are looking at that as a gateway to a long and loving relationship, I'm not saying it can't happen because it can, but it's maybe not the most reliable route towards that relationship. But sure, a lot of people find some forms of satisfaction in it. But if there are any young ladies who are listening to this, I would, this is just my opinion, but I would think twice and think three times before you commit to such things, because you might find, while you might enjoy it while you're young, you might think quite differently about it when you're 35, trying to find a partner, or you've got two kids. You might not look back at your younger self quite so favorably, but it's everyone's own decision anyway.
For me, if the guy likes you or really serious about you, he will respect your decision and he will not take an advantage for you. Even he likes you a lot, he knows how to, behave.
Yeah, that's important. Okay. So, did you have a bonus, or they're the main five? Was there another point you wanted to add?
The last one, this is a bonus, but this is also important to know. Um, for me, this is a red flag. Not respecting Filipino culture and traditions. Like what I said earlier, because we have a different cultures and you come here and we're not forcing you to adapt it, but just to respect our culture or tradition.
Yeah, it's really important. E- Even if you are a foreigner and you have like a permanent residency, you're now officially half Filipino citizen, and you are still, to some extent, a visitor in the country. And if you just think of how long societies have lived there, and how many, over 115 million people who live there, and all the different islands and all the different mini cultures and mini languages, like, you, even if you've lived there for 80 years as a foreigner, you are unfortunately, you're very, very insignificant in the big scheme of culture, in terms of number of people, number of years that have happened in the Philippines. So yeah, respect is the, like, the bare minimum. And like, don't see it as just a, I don't know, like a problem or something to accept. See it as something, like, as a really amazing opportunity. Like, you can learn different skills that you can apply to your own life. Um, yeah, it, it makes you think in different ways, and this is a big reason why being a, I don't like to use the term, it's so like cheesy, but like the global citizen, like experiencing different countries, talk about how to mature yourself and widen your vision on how the world works. I mean, there's no better way.
Yes. Yeah, because sometimes there are foreigners coming here sometimes they forgot to accept what's our culture or be aware.
Hmm.
You know,
It
like
is
in
hard.
courting a Filipina. I know that is different to you or in Western or some foreigner. There is no courting stage, but here in Philippines, in Filipina, that is very important for us to court us first before you move into sex or before you move into something very serious, because you need to court or to court us, then pursue us, that we need to know if you're sincere.
Yeah, we're not saying you have to bow down to every rule, no matter how crazy it sounds to you, because you you can question a lot of cultures and traditions, but you have to do it in the right way. You have to do it with at least some respect, and that's healthy. When you can't question something at all, then that's when, basically, yeah, cultures can go into a little bit of a dangerous position. But yeah, if you remember that you're, to some degree, always a guest in the country, it allows you to catch yourself if you ever get frustrated, which you will as a foreigner because there's so many different things. It allows you to catch yourself and say, okay, I'm getting annoyed at this certain thing, and then you catch yourself and just say, this is new, and be prepared to try things. Because another thing is, especially when we're more mature, we're very quick to discredit a certain idea or tradition. No, that's not good because I've always done it this way and it works brilliantly. But yeah, it's getting too deep now. But a big reason why children grow so quickly and develop so well is because they try so many things. They are so inquisitive. And even though a lot of things feel like a waste of time, like, oh, this thing isn't better, this thing is not for me, it's worth it. Maybe if you have 5 experiences like that, and then you have one experience where you find a new game or a new food and you think, wow, that's incredible. That's something that you can keep with you for the rest of your life. You can apply that every Saturday when you want to cook that meal. Not only that, you can pass it on to friends, you can pass it on to family. Like if it was a really good idea or skill, that can affect future generations even. That's going off topic a bit, but I did also want to end the video with a bit of balance to say that we're not saying that all foreigners are like this whatsoever. And I'm of the opinion that, like with a lot of things, the noisy, loud, stupid few foreigners, that they give a bad reflection on the rest of us. So it can feel like, I don't know, around almost half of foreigners are completely crazy, disgraceful people, when in fact it's generally a lot less. But because they're so shocking, it detracts away from a lot of foreigners who are uh, very respectful and good people who actually enrich the Philippines by being there. Like it's not just a case of whether you ruin the Philippines or keep it neutral. As a foreigner, you can make a decent positive impact on the country. You can grow it, and that's what most foreigners should be hoping to do on some scale.
Yeah. You know, here in Philippines, there's a lot of traditions, especially courting, marrying a Filipina. You need to respect, especially the parents, the family of the girl. Yeah, because there are foreigners that they gonna say, Filipino are easy to get. Some they will say that, but not all. But there are also difficult family or Filipina that you need to undergo before you get her heart. If you just follow the very traditional Filipina, if you will just you met a very traditional Filipina or family, yeah, you need to undergo a lot of challenge before you get the heart of the Filipina, and you need to respect it if you like her, and if you're serious about her.
Mm,
But yeah, this topic is not all only like, yeah, this is for foreigners red flag, but this is very general. I think it can be also a red flag to others, even not a foreigner
yeah,
or even a Filipino. Yeah, but mostly these red flags are this is what we get from others' opinion and also our opinion. This is a
yeah,
sort get this a lot of Filipina who met foreigners and this kind of, yeah, this is the main points of all the red flags. This is only 6, but there's a lot of red flags.
yeah. Really good point. That yeah, we also got the comment on the previous red flags of a Filipina video. Someone said these points could apply to anyone or any girl, and it is quite fair. Like hopefully, like at least parts of some of the points we made are quite specific to a foreigner, but a lot of the things both Rose and I covered today can be applied to any partner you're looking at, I think.
Yeah, if you are looking for a partner, serious relationship, you need to be aware of all this.
Great, we've done it. That was 5 red flags of a foreigner, and even a sixth bonus red flag. And we both hope you've enjoyed. We got quite deep into the topic again, but thanks for staying with us and supporting the channel. And we will be back with another video soon.
Yes, thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe and share this to your friends or who's looking to a serious relationship, especially looking for foreigners, so you can share this to them. Thank you for watching and have a nice day, and God bless everyone. Bye bye.
Bye bye.